Hello everyone, this is a video just about the Bridge City CS-3 Center Scribe tool. It's not a review, this is not a review, it's just a kind of something to consider video in case anybody out there is thinking of buying it and this helps them. I definitely ummed a long time before buying it. It was quite a bit to spend on a marking tool. I see a lot of woodworkers at the moment, past couple of weeks, doing videos about Temu and AliExpress and Banggood. I'm definitely going the opposite direction with this one. I got it when it was discounted just after Christmas, but it was still 165 euros for the tool itself, then about 36 euros for shipping to the UK from Germany. And then thanks to Brexit, I had to pay import tax as well, which was about £47 GBP. So all in all, it came to about £214. So you can see why somebody might want to have all of the information about it before purchasing. And that's why I'm doing this video, because there is one aspect about it that I'm just not totally in love with. And I haven't seen it mentioned on other YouTube videos. You know, even though I normally think nothing of spending 200 quid on a power tool, for me, a hand tool is quite expensive. It's different for everyone. Obviously, it depends on the woodworking you do. Some people have planes worth, you know, a good bit more than that, I'm sure. But to me, it felt like an expensive purchase. So I wanted to just kind of make a video just with that thought. But before I get to the bit that surprised me a little bit, I just want to start with what I think is great about the CS-3. So let me say that there is no doubt in my mind that this is the best center marking tool in the world when it comes to woodworking. I can't imagine that there's anything out there better than this. And it definitely fixes the biggest issue that I had with the old tool I was using, which, let me show you, is this. So this basic center marking tool, there you go. I forget how much it was. I think it was a couple of quid on AliExpress type of thing. Yeah, it's actually been quite good. I've used it more often than I thought it would, but it does struggle marking right to the end of a piece of wood. These long flappy bits are meant to give a bit of extra support, and they do give some, but it still has a tendency to kind of veer off to one side as you get to the end of the board. So let me just do a close-up and sort of show you what I mean there. So I'm going to take it off the end of this to sort of show you what I mean. So with this cheap one from AliExpress, you get to the end and then... Now, I wasn't concentrating as hard as I possibly could there. I could probably have done a slightly better job of trying to hold it central. But so this is probably a bit exaggerated, but you can see the point I'm making. It's not dead easy to just go all the way to the end. But you know, for a few quid, it's not a bad little thing, a bit squeaky. If you don't need to get the mark to the very end, then that'll do a great job. The CS-3 though does massively excel at marking all the way to the end. So let me show you that as well. Now I haven't got this pencil sharpened a huge amount, so the line's not going to be as fine as it could be, but to take that to the end, the pencil drops off the end long before the wings do, and you get a lovely crisp line all the way to the very end. So quite a big difference between the two in that respect. So yeah, like I say, when it comes to actually marking the centre of boards, you know, the CS-3 is great, but this brings me on to the point I want to talk about. I didn't just buy this purely to mark the centre of boards. I mean, yes, that's what I'm going to use it for, but I bought this because it's just a lovely thing in its own right. And, you know, as an impressive hunk of aluminium and steel, precisely engineered, you know, basically part of my rationale for buying it was putting that smile on my face when I was using it. Along the woodworking journey, I've come to appreciate that it's worth paying the extra for really lovely tools, you know, when you can afford it here and there. And I just wanted to have a little center marker that I was in love with using, that just made me happy every time I used it. And I'd seen videos from Sedge Tool, and I think Stumpy Nubs has one of these as well, and probably others out there. And in Sedge's video, he compares it to his old center marking tool made of wood, which I think his buddy made for him, and it looks lovely. But he mentions the tolerances and that there's some play in it, and then says how happy he is with the CS-3. So, okay, so this brings me on to what I want to talk about. So let me just show you. I'm just going to extend this out a bit. Okay, so hopefully you can hear that. You won't really be able to see it, but hopefully you can hear that. And you might be thinking I haven't tightened this knob all the way. I have, it's nice and tight. What you're hearing there is the remaining play after locking it. It's not both arms. This top arm is okay because the knob actually tightens down onto the top arm, but it's this bottom arm. And it's definitely more play than I was expecting for a tool that's sort of beautiful in every other way. There is, I should say, if I move it back in and this arm goes into this little kind of groove here, this housing, it's less that way, but there's still some this way. Can you hear it? So anyway, I contacted them through the EU store that I bought from, and I sent them a little video of the play, and I asked them if that was expected. They replied to say it was expected. It shouldn't affect the accuracy of the marking of the centre of boards, and I think they're absolutely right. I'm sure that amount of play will not at all affect the ability to accurately mark the centre of boards. In fact, when we're talking about this amount of play, let me just do a quick measurement and see if I can actually measure how much play it is. This is hardly the world's most scientific test, but I'm holding it down so this bit doesn't move, and I'll just move the arm. So there, it's probably, only a couple of mils at most. Only a couple of mils. So, pretty nitpicky, but enough to make it feel a bit sloppy. So yeah, in terms of doing what it was designed to do, no issues at all. Like I said at the beginning, I have no doubt that this is the best centre marking tool in the world for woodworking. Plus it can do some other bits like mortise marking and finding the centre of dowels and things. But as I said, I didn't just buy it purely for that. I bought it as a lovely toy. That beauty, those tight tolerances, that lovely precision engineered feel would make me smile every time I picked it up. And, this, it does detract from that precision engineered feel, that kind of beautiful toy feel, unfortunately. I did say all of that in my last reply to Bridge City. It was a couple of weeks ago. They haven't responded since. I mentioned all those reasons for buying it, but I don't know, maybe they thought I was angling for a refund or return or something. I guess part of me was hoping initially that they would say, yeah, sorry, those aren't the tolerances we expect. But, even after they said that was expected, I still wasn't looking to return or refund it. I think I just wanted a little connection and understanding about the fact that let's call it the kind of beautiful piece of engineering aspect was just a bit diminished from that play in the arms, and it just left me feeling a bit less like I'd spent £214 on something I was going to love, and more like I just bought the most expensive centre marker in the world. But to be fair, I get that this is a little bit of a nitpick. I feel like I can nitpick because of the price of the tool. I'm still going to get loads of use out of it. I'm still going to enjoy it. It's just not quite the love affair I wanted, and since I haven't seen anybody else mention that play in the arms on YouTube, I thought it'd be worth it just to do a video, put it out there, because if you're thinking of buying it and you're thinking the same as me, that it's worth the money to have it as a lovely little hunk of aluminium that's precisely engineered, I just wanted to give that heads up that you might be better assessing its worth based on the actual centre marking abilities of it, which is what it's designed to do. I get that. That's probably a better way to think about that money, but only you can make that call. It depends on your woodworking and whatever. As I said though, I do think it's the best centre marker there is. There isn't a better centre marker in the world. I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. And overall, it is a fantastic tool. I just wanted to add my thoughts in case it's going to be useful for somebody else's decision-making process if you're thinking of purchasing it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.